Hey, everybody. I hope this is that the volume is okay this evening. Uh, if not, just give me an indication. So, Cybertruck, and Cybertruck. So, last night, Tesla announced their new Cybertruck, and we all got to see it for the very first time. And it's definitely been met with some mixed results. The design is certainly polarizing, and for those of you who have not seen the Cybertruck design, I have a few photos that I'll be sharing during this live stream. Now, this will be pretty quick, maybe 15 minutes or so. And here's what we're going to do. We're gonna see the Cybertruck. We are going to talk about some of the benefits of some of the positives, some of the good things about the Cybertruck, and then some of the questions that I have. All right, so let's talk about this from an overlanding perspective. Hi, you guys. I see you. I see you guys filtering in. I'll try and get to your questions if I happen to see them up there. But hey, first of all, let's take a look at the design of the Cybertruck, shall we? Here it is. There it is. In case you guys haven't seen it, it's a little bit retro, a little bit throwback. It's a little bit wedge shaped. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Okay, so here it is. The Cybertruck. This is what we're looking at. This is certainly part of the polarizing design. When this thing rolled out, there was gasps, and some people liked it, some people hate it. But here's another shot of it out in the wild. Now, here's the thing. A couple of things. The media has been sort of talking about the design itself, and also there were some mistakes during the presentation. You guys saw they were touting the strength of they were touting the strength of the windows, and the windows actually broke. That wasn't good, and that's really captured the media. But let's talk about the truck itself. All of that stuff I don't really care about, right? I like good aesthetics, but really what I'm concerned with is utility. That's how my rig is built. My rig is the venerable 1996 FZJ 80 Land Cruiser, and it does its job very well. You guys, as explorers, as overlanders, you want the same thing I want. We want reliability, we want range, and we want torque. And if you can give me those three things, then I'm a pretty happy overlander. We need enough torque to do the job. And, sometimes with the more cross-trek type vehicles that are more enduro, on-road, off-road, sometimes torque is the main limiting factor to get the job done. Well, let's talk about some of the positives of this Cybertruck that we know. Okay, first of all, they didn't quote torque numbers, but we know that the Tesla Model S has 792 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot. That'll get the job done. Now, some of the stats that were quoted for the Cybertruck, we know its range is 500 miles. So that's great. A 500-mile range is great. This leads into some of the questions that I have later on, which we'll get into. But my rig, the FJ80, on a good day will go 220, 230. That's with a 24-gallon gas tank, and you can do the math. My gas mileage is not that great. So, right out of the gate, the Cybertruck kind of stomps the FJ80 in terms of range. Now, this thing, here, let's bring up our picture again. This thing will go 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. 2.9 seconds. That's faster than a Porsche 911, modern day Porsche 911. And in terms of its towing capacity, it's 14,000 pounds. That's considerable. That's a considerable towing capacity. Some other Positive features. We know that it has 110 outlets and 240-volt outlets, so we have that built into the rig. Again, this leads into some of my upcoming questions, but that's pretty impressive. And then in terms of its approach and departure angle, it's better than a stock Tacoma at 35-degree approach angle and 28-degree departure angle. That's not bad. And with the adjustable ride height, we'll see. Time will tell, but it makes me think that its actual off-road capabilities might be considerable. Now, for reference, that's not as good in terms of the approach angle and the departure angle. That's not as good as a Jeep Gladiator, which is outrageous with a 45-degree approach angle. That is fantastic. But it's still decent, better than a stock Tacoma. And again, it's got the adjustable ride height. At first blush, just looking at it, it makes me think that if you were to compare the Rivian versus the Cybertruck, I would actually think that the Cybertruck, just glancing at it, would do a better job off-road. Now, this is just going to come down to stats, ground clearance, what you can do with your tires, adjustable ride height, the actual suspension travel, and we'll really have to see it on a course or off-road before we know between those two vehicles which one is better. However, there is another advantage of the Cybertruck, and that is its sticker price. Right at the base is $39,000. And it goes up to $70,000 or $69,000 for the 500-mile range variant of the truck. So its price point is really attractive, and the true cost of ownership is less than, say, a new gas F-150, because maintenance is supposed to be less, and the cost of operating the vehicle, you're not purchasing fuel. So that's a bunch of the positive benefits of the Cybertruck. Now let's start getting into some questions. If you haven't seen this is an interesting rendering of, and if you want to see this, a better resolution version of this, just in Google Images, just type in Cybertruck camping or something like that. But this is the rig showing some pull-out storage, some food preparation spaces, an electric stove, and a camper canopy off in the redwoods. So it'll be interesting to see just how versatile this rig is. Now let's get into some questions. I'm scanning. Hey, hello guys. Stainless steel flat bottom, 16 inches ground clearance. That's pretty good. All right. Love seeing your guys' comments. Thanks for contributing to the conversation. LN, do it, order it. I'm not saying I'm a Cybertruck enthusiast. I'm just saying, hey, let's look at the stats. Forget the design, right? And let's talk about the utility of the vehicle. Now, hey, here are some of my questions. So we go on long trips, and sometimes we cross borders. It does have a 500-mile range, but what is it actually like if I want to drive from, say, somewhere in the middle of California all the way down to Cabo San Lucas? What is that trip going to look like? Where do I have to stop in order to actually get down there and back? The range on the 80 isn't as good as the Cybertruck, but I can carry fuel with me. There is no way that you can power the Cybertruck in a reasonable amount of time using any solar power. That technology just doesn't exist yet. You have to plug it in somewhere. So in terms of range, what is that going to do if I want to travel a very long distance off grid? That's a big question mark. And vehicle weight. Now, 9 times out of 10, I can get myself out of trouble if I'm driving the 80 with a bottle jack and a shovel. Am I going to be able to do that on the Cybertruck? How heavy is this thing? Now, one of the main reasons for the crazy design is that the strength of the vehicle has been moved from the body on frame design to move a lot of the strength to the outer skin. It is cold rolled stainless steel, the same skin that is used in the SpaceX rockets. So it's a very durable and strong material. And again, part of the reason for that crazy design is that that's where a lot of the strength is. Well, if a lot of the strength is in the skin, am I able to bolt onto that skin without sacrificing or compromising the structural rigidity of the vehicle? I'm going to want to put a rack on there. I'm going to want to put a shovel mount on there. I'm going to want to do various things. And I'd like to know more about the actual strength of the vehicle. Now, one thing that my good friend Elon Musk, I'm just kidding, I don't know the man. One thing that he did mention, though, was that the design concept could be compared to biplanes versus single hull monoplanes like the P-51 and the Supermarine Spitfire that ended up dominating World War II. Everybody were strong advocates for the biplane design because, well, you could be more maneuverable at lower speeds because of wing surface area, et cetera, et cetera. But it proved out in the long run that the single hull monoplane design was superior in combat. So maybe this is a better design. Again, my question, and if it is a better design, then I'm all for it. I do want strength and I do want toughness, but am I going to be able to modify this vehicle in a way that I want to? What about adding a winch to it? Clearly, it can haul passengers, and so an 80-pound winch is not going to be that big a deal. But how does weight distribution affect the performance of the Cybertruck? I have all kinds of questions like that. Yes, Chris, I do understand that. I had a Chevy Monza back in the day, way ahead of its time, I would say. Anyway, I do understand that there are many types of options to the body on frame. However, there's really been an emphasis on the skin being the strength of the vehicle with the Cybertruck. Let's see. Okay, now. If you are running accessories, like, for example, if you were using the battery bank for the stove, or you were using that 110 outlet, or you were using that 240 outlet, I also want to know how that's going to affect my range. It could be, I'm only speculating. I don't know how much that's going to affect range, but if it were a huge impact, well, we'd want to consider that in planning any trip. Again, reliability, torque, and range, that's really what I need. If the truck is so reliable that I don't have to worry about fixing it on the trail, then that concern goes way down. I don't think you're going to be able to fix this on the trail. So that is a huge deal. Reliability is going to be absolutely key. Let's see. I think that's it. I'm not bothered by the design. Yes, it's radical. It looks kind of like Blade Runner. It's funny to joke about, all those things. I'm mostly concerned about utility. It does have some impressive stats behind it, but I still think we are in a wait and see period for all of these electric trucks that are coming out, the Rivian included. We will see. We see some pictures, but we need to see it out in the wild before we really understand, the viability of these vehicles in for overland adventures. I am always glad to see technology move forward. I am always glad to see people pushing the envelope. We all benefit from it. So in that way, this is a good thing. I look forward to seeing, in the realm of electric vehicles, what is in store. I'm not sure how far away that is yet. All right, you guys, hey, really interested in your thoughts. Please add your questions in the comments of the video once it's posted as you live stream. It doesn't get posted. It has to process and do all that stuff. But once the video's up, I'd really love it if you guys would go back and add your comments and keep the dialogue going, and I'll answer as much as possible. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to some thoughts about this new Cybertruck. This is one of my favorites from today. It's a video game from the 1990s. I just thought that was funny. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Again, comments in the video once it's published. Really appreciate you guys. And I will talk to you soon. Hopefully, sometime I will see you on the trail. All right. Good night, you guys.